saved y'all some. Okay.
Do you want to do a constable?
Sure. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Now you got a real problem with this one. Only to the degree that I don't think municipality should be the point of contact, it should be the school division. Brian, this one, I got a bit of problem with the municipality being asked to be the point of contact for all school distribution. Like, I think it should be the school division. You know, we'll lobby for the government to make the school division the point of contact, but that's where the children are. We don't know how many children are in the school.
Right, and we don't have access
We
to,
don't have access to that database.
no.
What's your name?
So I would like to call for a friendly amendment to that.
Okay,
Just, I don't mind supporting it, just that we don't.
We need to
be
amend
the
it.
Point of contact.
yeah. But do we need to go back and talk to them?
Well,
Because this is what they want,
maybe,
what they're asking for, so,
we can't present it at this AMM anyway.
no. But, so we could go back to it and revisit it and just,
Because it just puts us in an awkward position, because we don't
Yeah.
have access to the database.
right. And we don't have access to, it requires us to keep a few streams open that we wouldn't otherwise have.
So anyway, that's my issue.
Yeah, sure.
I was reading this there too, and I got, but I don't know whether that's a conflict. We just don't have access to the kids' database.
That's for you. Yeah. Just gonna let you know that I'm here for my address is application for CUB Garrett. Garrett, yeah.
Applications are very,
I guess I have to sign anything or whatever.
sure, I'll just register the 12
Can I get a phone number? Yeah. Can I give you myself? Yep. That's best. 204-325-6268. 6268. Address? Oh, 421 Fall Street. And then email me. Sure. Here, you want me to write it down? Sure. Or Merrick. M-A-R-R-I-C.
No, no.
At my MTS.
It's this side of
Thank you.
Ernie's. What Ernie did on his, he cut the front of his garage off and moved it up like 3 feet.
yeah, somebody bought it and I've seen them working. So
Oh, yeah, but Alice bought it.
yeah, I know, but that's not.
No,
I think council for a
Alice,
signature on that.
their garage improvement.
Yeah, but which one is this one? Is this Ernie's house here, the next one? Is it,
No, because they live this, Sandra Cox live on one side of them and the other is, the vet, Maria. But,
All right. Very good morning, everyone. It's 9:03 on October 28th, council meeting for the city of Morden. We'll get started with agenda item number 1, which is the invocation, which will be handled today by Deputy Mayor Nancy Penner.
I know traditionally invocations ask for guidance from superior beings and for guidance for council, but I just want to deviate again and put a huge thank you to the city staff and crews that got us through the Thanksgiving weekend. I mean, it started with road closures. I know the ambulance got patients to the city on Thursday, didn't get them home, but they got them there. Our road clearing that happened over the weekend was exceptional. waterworks that no loss of pressure in our water, no boil water advisory. A huge cleanup is happening with the trees and the damage to city trees, just our Livingston Park, Morden Park, and then the residents dealing with their own down trees and branches, and huge thanks, and it's been talked about widely in the community. Thanks for the branch pickup on residential boulevards. I think everybody really realized the impact of that storm and the preparedness we had between fire rescue, police. Just a huge thank you to city.
Thank you. Agenda item number 2, addition to the agenda. Do any councillors have additions? Councillor Frost has one in camera for legal purposes. Any other additions to today's agenda? No? All right, we have one addition as 8.7 as an in camera. Legal, moved by Councillor Doug Frost, seconded by Councillor Gary Hebert. Be resolved that the agenda for the meeting of October 28th, 2019 is hereby adopted as circulated with the following additions. 8.7 in camera legal. In favor, please indicate. Opposed? None. The agenda is approved. All right, public hearing. I will look to the Deputy Finance Director, Deputy City Manager for an explanation of the public hearing.
So the explanation of process for planning hearings is as follows. Any presentations are limited to a maximum of 10 minutes. Hearings will be done in order as they appear on the agenda. If anyone other than the applicant wants to make a presentation on any of the hearings, they must record their name and contact information with me prior to the hearing. What this means is if you don't give me your name in advance, you won't be permitted to speak. If you aren't sure, you can register with me and decline to speak when your name is called. All presentations must be directed through the chair, which is the mayor. Council will first hear from the applicant. Council will then hear representations beginning with those in favor, followed by those opposed or objecting. Applicant will have opportunity to respond if new information is provided. The others will again have an opportunity to present. Council may ask for clarification after each presentation, but will not enter into debate. Minutes will be kept. Written submissions may be presented, but must be made available to those who are present who want a copy. When presentations are completed, Council will close hearings and further input from the public will not be permitted for legal reasons. Council has the option to adjourn a hearing and advise of the next date for the continuation of the hearing to obtain further information. When Council makes a decision, where required by legislation, all persons who made a presentation at the hearing will be notified. For variation orders today, when Council makes its decision on the application, the decision is final and there is no appeal.
All right. Moved by Councillor, agenda item number 3.1. Moved by Councillor Doug Frost, seconded by Councillor Gordon Maddock. Be it resolved that the regular meeting of Council be closed to convene as a public hearing for the following variation orders. Variation Order 03-2019, Variation Order 07-2019. In favor, please indicate. Opposed? None. We are in a public hearing. Do we have any registrants?
Just the Dennis on behalf of the
Okay. So we have one applicant appearing on behalf of each variation order. Is there anyone else wishing to register for either variation? No? We will move to variation, public hearing for variation order number 3-2019, which has been submitted by Imperial Management Incorporated. Did the applicant wish to speak on behalf of the variation?
I'll just speak on behalf of Imperial and more so introduce myself. My name is Dennis Thiessen. I'm just here for feedback and just lending ears on Black because he was not able to be here today. So
Okay. So the variation application council have in front of them, it's on page page 2. Did you wish to speak to this, Martin? I know we spoke to already in committee of the whole.
Yeah, unless council members have some specific questions related to this application, I'll hold on.
Okay.
So in your report, you said that those, I guess, front and rear yards, they won't have impact, like reducing them from 20 to 6 feet. Does not really impact.
No, and again, Councillor, it relates to the fact that they had to play around a little bit within the confines of our subdivision restriction right now. So this would have been, their layout would have been, each individual townhouse would have faced onto a public road. So there's two street stubs shown in the plan that's, I think, on the next or the third page. Yeah, that one there. Those are driveways right now because they're treating the whole site as one development site. So they're not individual lots. So there's no change in substance. We just have to interpret the zoning bylaws.
Is it fair to ask Mayor Burley if the fire chief has an issue with regards to those drives with for fire control in case you need to get in there with their equipment?
Yeah, I believe it'd be a legitimate question.
You able to have you looked at this at all, Andy?
Yes, yeah, I've reviewed this particular drawing. Excuse me. And the access to it would not be a problem if there is no parking on that driveway. There is a turnaround provided at the end, which would work for us to turn around in. But access, if there was parking on both sides, that would be very, very difficult.
Okay.
With respect to the parcel to the north, is there any concern about future impediment from those turnarounds?
From the turnaround specifically? I don't believe so. Just so council knows, to the east, there's a street stub that provides access to those lands, so there would be no
Okay.
need for us to extend those small streets further north. So they would remain turnarounds as long as it's service property.
Okay. So it would never go through to a future road to the north? Okay.
That's not the developer's intention, I don't believe. And we would have to review that, given context at a future date. I
Okay.
don't think that would be a great idea.
Okay.
When you mentioned parking, like it says here via a pair of two-way driveways, is there going to be no parking in there? Like, is that?
We haven't put that restriction in place, but typically with a plan like this, those driveways need to remain open and unencumbered in order to provide access to the individual units. Just so council knows, each of those units has either a single car garage plus parking space in front of it. Many of them have double garages. Maybe the applicant's representative would be able to speak to how many are double garages versus single. I can't remember off the top of my head.
At this point, it's a matter of pre-configuration on what the customers are wanting. So right now, it is being proposed for a matter of 50% having double driveways. So that's the space that we've allocated for this concept.
Could I add one thing, Councilman? I believe in a configuration like this, those driveways would be considered fire lanes in this configuration.
Okay.
With the growing number of townhouses and apartments we're putting in there, and children especially starting to populate the area, I don't see we have any crosswalks or anything like that in there. Especially if they're heading to Sharptooth or Boston Pizza or somewhere. Is that a concern?
I think more of a concern is just having sidewalks on that side of the street. And I believe that that's in the plan ultimately. And just so council members know, each of the property owners that purchased property from the city, the future servicing for transportation, including sidewalks, is included as part of the purchase price of those individual property.
Other questions for the applicant or for Martin? No? You had, if I just add, Thiessen, you had one more comment?
Sorry?
Did you have another comment?
No, I was just clarifying with Martin.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't remember the width of the road from the previous plan,
Okay,
and yeah, it's 20 feet.
okay. Very good. No other questions. We'll move on to the public hearing for variation order number 7-2019. I believe Mr. Garrick Weens is present to represent on behalf of it. Did you wish to speak to the variation order?
Just needing a bigger garage.
Okay,
That's all I really need.
okay. All right. We'll all be familiar with the variation application. It was reviewed at committee of the whole. Did you wish to add anything to what was presented at committee? No? Any questions from councillors or to Martin or to Mr.
Just-
Weens?
It's going to the east, right? And these are very, very deep lots, correct?
Yeah, my lot is 276 feet deep.
Yeah.
It's a half acre, and the driveway is about 100 feet long. So yeah, it's going to the east, into the backyard. So it's, yeah, really when I was talking to neighbors, they said, well, I don't know what impact that would have on me, but
No, here you go. Okay. I just got too many toys, that's what it is.
6 children,
That's why, toys.
bicycles.
You have 6 children. I have 4.
Yes.
I understand the survival strategy. Find a place to spend winter. All right, no more questions for the applicant on the public hearing for 7-19. So we have agenda item number 3.14, moved by Councillor Doug Frost, seconded by Councillor Gordon Maddock. Be it resolved that the public hearings for variation order 3-2019 and variation order 7-29 be closed to reconvene as a regular meeting of council. In favor, please indicate. Opposed, none. We are back in regular meeting of council. Going from my agenda. There we go. I don't know if I should be left to remember these. We have to have a look at these after. Okay, 3.13, 3.15, sorry, which is,
No. 2?
3.11, sorry, 3. Yeah,
The variation orders?
that's what I'm just numbering them as
Oh, I
agenda
see.
items. 3.111 and 3.112 would be the correct numbering, because they're still. All right, agenda item number 3.112. Moved by, we need a mover and a seconder.
You two do
That's the
that
12th Street one?
No, that
No,
is
that's the
the Lauren
Imperial.
Drive.
one. Drive.
Lauren Drive is 3.11. Oh, yeah. Do that.
All right, moved by council 3.111. Moved by Councillor Hank Hildebrand, seconded by Councillor Gord Maddock. Be resolved that Council of the City of Morden approve variation order 3-2019, being a variation to reduce the minimum front yards as follows: from 25 feet to lot 1 being 6 feet, lot 4 being 15 feet, lot 9 being 8 feet, lot 10 being 5 feet, and to reduce the minimum rear yards as follows: from 25 feet to lot 1 being 6 feet, lot 2 being 5 feet, lot 10 being 5 feet with no conditions. In favor, please indicate. Opposed, none. The motion carries. 3.121. These are signed. Okay, 3.121, moved by Councillor Gary Hebert, seconded by Councillor Jim Hunt. Be resolved that Council of the City of Morden approve variation order 7-2019 to increase the maximum accessory building site coverage from 800 square feet to 1,144 square feet in an RSL, or residential single-family large zone, to allow for an addition to the detached garage with no conditions. In favor, please indicate. Opposed, none. The motion carries. You don't have to stay if you don't want. You're more than welcome to. In fact, we encourage.
No, that's all I do is stay.
We do encourage it, but I understand if you have places to be.
Thank you.
Okay. Where are we? There we go. Found the appropriate piece of paper. All right. Agenda item number 3.2, public hearing. Do you wish to, we've all heard the requirements for a public hearing. If you wish to register, feel free to do so. Moved by Councillor Doug Frost, seconded by Councillor Gord Maddock. Be resolved that the regular meeting of council be closed to convene as a public hearing for local improvement bylaw number 3-2019. In favor, please indicate. Opposed, we're in a public hearing. If anyone wishes to register, feel free to do so. Local improvement bylaw is, of course, on the screen in front of you. This is for a heavy rescue truck for the fire department. This would typically be borne under equipment replacement reserve. However, insufficient monies in that account, coupled with increased cost of the heavy rescue vehicle due to unforeseen expenses in steel tariffs, has meant that there are insufficient dollars to pay for the rescue vehicle ordered in 2018. Would anybody like to speak to the bylaw?
Now, just the only question I have of Patrick is, what would the normal process have been? Like, should we have dealt with this a year ago when we ordered the truck, or is this the normal process to order it first and then look for a borrowing bylaw? Or
No, it would probably, the best case scenario would definitely be to probably approve the borrowing bylaw before commit to a purchase, but I think at the time it was stated that it would be coming under reserves.
Oh, okay.
Because at that time, council was anticipating to pay through 2019 budget, and it was in the middle of the year, and they didn't have a full picture of overall projects we are bringing forward to 2019, and they didn't have a full picture of reserves as well.
Oh, okay.
And when we did 2019 budget process, so we figured out that we don't have enough reserves to fund this project, so that's why we went for a borrowing power. But the ideal or the best case is like we get it approved first and then start the project.
Okay.
And ideally, moving forward, this should be borne out of equipment replacement reserves, right?
Yeah.
We should be putting the money away, not spending said money, and there should be sufficient dollars there when these things come up.
Well, my understanding was that this unit, and I might be wrong, but the amount that was in our equipment replacement reserve was significantly less, and the price had just increased significantly since considering it as a unit for replacement. Is that correct?
That's correct, yeah.
So-
It would have been in our 20-year plan as a,
Okay, and then in saying that, then all the other items that we have in our equipment reserve, are they being looked at as to determine that it's reasonable, the amount that we're allocating for the replacement of those items?
should be evaluated.
Is that done annually or biannually, or what is the deal?
Should be done every year.
Annually? So can we rely on administration to do that then for this year, next year?
Yes, for 2020 budget,
Yeah.
we'll definitely.
Okay, thank
I
you.
think very often the process was, or whatever it's, on an annual basis, the head of the departments would get that replacement reserve spreadsheet, and they would determine whether maybe some could be put back a couple of years, or some had to be jumped ahead, that type of thing, and then the reserve would have to be adjusted accordingly, like the levy would have to be
Yeah.
adjusted accordingly.
Okay, no, I'm just curious because my understanding there's a bit of misunderstanding on this one, so.
So we're borrowing $820,000. We have $435,000 roughly in equipment replacement reserve. Had we looked at allocating any amount of that money against this vehicle, borrowing less to levy less, or had?
No, because we already have some equipment to be replaced in 2020 and onwards, so
Okay.
we would like to keep that amount.
Okay.
Do we know who we're borrowing it from? Or has that not been determined yet?
Not really, not really.
Okay.
Does that go for tender or quotes?
So like, Patrick, speak on that, what's the normal process?
Normally, we would check, I think, interest rates offered and that type of thing before.
Okay. Does that come to council then with you, the selection
That would
prior
have to-
or after?
It would have to be,
I believe it will come to council because council has to give second and third reading. for
Yeah,
this
it would be
bylaw,
part of the
it's
second and third
by
reading.
municipal vote, so we'll provide full information to council
Okay.
about what rate they're getting and how
This-
we are going to do that.
this is kind of step one in the process.
Because this bylaw would in effect be amended because the actual interest rate would then be incorporated, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah, so this is first, okay, then thanks. No questions from me anymore?
All right, other questions or comments? No?
I can move it.
Let's see here, we have all right, agenda item number 3.21. There we go. We're back on track. Moved by Councillor Doug Frost, seconded by Councillor Gordon Maddock. Be it resolved that the hearing for local improvement bylaw number 3-2019 be closed to reconvene as a regular meeting of council. In favor, please indicate. Opposed, none. We're in regular meeting. All right, first reading, 3.22.
Oh, you can do that.
You want to do it? Okay.
You want to do it? Okay.
All right, agenda item number 3.22, moved by Councillor Hank Hildebrand, seconded by Councillor Nancy Penner. Be resolved that Council of the City of Morden give first reading to bylaw 3-2019, being a bylaw to authorize expenditure and borrowing of money to purchase a new fire rescue vehicle as a local improvement. In favor, please indicate. Opposed, none. Motion is carried. All right, confirmation of minutes, agenda item number 4.1, moved by Councillor Gordon Maddock, seconded by Councillor Doug Frost. Be resolved that the minutes of the regular meeting of the Council of the City of Morden held on the 23rd day of September 2019 be adopted as presented. If anyone have questions or comments? Anything to note? All right, in favor, please indicate. Opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 4.2, moved by Councillor Gordon Maddock, seconded by Councillor Doug Frost. Be it resolved that the minutes of the committee of the whole meeting of the City of Morden, the City of Morden held on the 7th day of October 2019 be adopted as presented. Anyone wish to speak to this? No. In favor, please indicate. Opposed? None. Motion carries. Agenda item number 4.3, moved by Councillor Gordon Maddock, seconded by Councillor Doug Frost. Be it resolved that the minutes of the special meeting of the Council of the City of Morden held on the 11th day of October 2019 be adopted as presented. Anyone wish to speak to this resolution? In favor, please indicate. Opposed, none. Motion carries. Agenda item 5, there are no recognition of individuals. I think we already heard one recognition in the invocation. 6, hearing of delegations, there are no delegations. No youth member report. 8, general business. 8.1 is accounts payable to September 30th. You have a copy of the accounts payable in your council package. Anyone wish to, I'll read the motion first. Agenda item number 8.1, moved by Councillor Gordon Maddock, seconded by Councillor Nancy Penner. Be resolved that the accounts payable to September 30th, 2019 be confirmed. Anyone have questions or comments?
Just only comment, just for the sake of people watching or listening to our council meeting, is that a copy of the check registry is sent to all councillors prior to being countersigned by one of the councillors. And if anybody has questions about any of the invoices or the accounts being paid, they're privy to do that. And most of the time, somebody does have questions, and they get copies of the invoices, or they get the answers for whatever the appropriate or applicable expense was paid. So other than that, and I think again, all checks paid this month were either in budget, or they were items that were required to be paid as a result of operating costs for the city.
All right. Yeah, I can confirm as an email holder that there are certainly questions being asked about budget items and things that are paid, so it's good to have the level of involvement we do. Any other questions or comments? No? All right, agenda item number 8.1, in favor, please indicate. Opposed, none. Motion succeeds. 8.2, moved by Councillor Gordon Maddock, seconded by Councillor Hank Hildebrand. Be it resolved that Council of the City of Morden reschedule the November 12th, 2019 Committee of the Whole meeting to 9 a.m. and reschedule the December 9th, 2019 Committee of the Whole meeting to December 10th at 9 a.m. So the Committee of the Whole meeting will continue to be 9 a.m. Council will continue to be in the evening. Will begin to be in the evening again for the winter. That's correct. Okay. Any questions or objections? Okay. In favor, please indicate. Opposed, none. Motion carries. Agenda item number 8.3. We don't have a mover, we have a seconder. Does anyone wish to move 8.3?
Do that. Oh, yeah.
We'll
We just
like
get
that.
it on the.
It puts it on the
get
floor.
It on the
Okay.
floor.
It only puts it on the floor. Okay, moved by Councillor Nancy Penner, seconded by Councillor Gordon Maddock. Whereas the Royal Canadian Legion holds Remembrance Day Services each year to remember sacrifice, and whereas approximately 10 years ago, the Legion Dominion Command mandated that all school children in Canada receive a poppy from the Legion to wear on Remembrance Day, and whereas it would be beneficial to assist the Legions with the distribution of these poppies, therefore be it resolved that the AMM lobby the province of Manitoba to mandate that all local improvements, including LGDs, rural municipalities, cities and towns, or school divisions should provide a prime point of contact to assist Royal Canadian Legion branches in Manitoba with a mandated distribution of those poppies to each child enrolled in Manitoba schools. And therefore be it further resolved that these prime points of contact communicate with the local branches in October to determine the number of poppies needed for all school children in their area, and subsequently make arrangements with their respective councils or boards to distribute those poppies to their schools. I know that there was some discussion about whether or not this was the best avenue for this to occur. And there is conversation in the committee meeting from October regarding this with the president of the local Legion. I think one concern we had was putting it on the municipal government to be the prime point of contact for this. Is that correct?
That's right, because the distribution of the property, and first of all, I would support 100% of this thing if it were to support the school division providing being the point of contact, because they're the ones that hold the registry for all the students in the school, and they know how many students there are, and that would, to me, it makes logical for them to be the point of contact and the distribution of the poppies, rather than a municipality. Municipality has no connection to the school division registry or the school division, because they have their own board and they have their own council, set of trustees.
So even Manitoba Education would have better access than we would.
So I would support it from that perspective, but for municipality, I question if it's a proper authority.
How many school children are in Western School Division?
No idea.
We don't have access to that, except very generally.
Do I know? I don't know.
Because I know enrollment's up,
Yeah.
right? And that's a fluctuating, changing number, and it can change quite dramatically.
So anyway, to me, I would ask for the friendly amendment on that one to be, to go to the Western School Division in our case, rather than to being City of Morden. So,
The initiative is good.
yeah.
The initiative is excellent, but it's inefficient.
And I believe that the president of the local Legion, Bob Frost, was here, and he had spoke to the superintendent of Western School Division. They were fully supportive of it too. So I just think it's a matter of how that resolution reads.
Well, it was my understanding, he wanted council to, if they can get it to AMM, for AMM to pressure the government to act on it.
Yeah, I
I believe
know.
that was the intent.
Yeah,
It's
and
not,
you're
not
right.
for the council to take over.
Yeah, I know, but the resolution reads that the council takes over. So that's the only difference in the wording of the resolution.
Yeah, they want a prime point of contact, which could be somebody in Manitoba Education, it could
That's
be
right.
somebody at the school division.
That's my only. So either we would make an amendment to that resolution at this table, or we send it back to the whoever
Well, in that-
created that resolution.
In that, Mr. Frost was involved, Comrade Frost to me,
Yeah,
was involved in the crafting of it. I think it would be
appropriate.
to involve him in the rewriting of
Yeah,
it.
that's
To
fine.
make sure it reflects what he wants.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll hold a vote on it. Agenda item number 8.3 in favor, please indicate. Opposed to this iteration?
The way it's worded, yeah.
Yeah,
opposed.
okay, the motion is defeated.
You just have administration
Yeah.
contact them.
So it's gonna be reworded
Yeah.
and then, okay.
Maybe he could meet with, an executive
Or-
group or something,
So
Yeah.
we put it in a way that.
It would be the school division responsible for that.
or
Just
Manitoba
only school.
Education.
Yeah,
So
But
you-
somebody in the education.
Yeah, Manitoba Education can figure it out. They're
So that's
smart,
for the province, right?
yeah,
For Morden, it would be Western School Division. For the province, it would be
Manitoba Education.
Manitoba Education. I don't know, if it wouldn't come at this AMM anyway. Like, it wouldn't be
No.
introduced as a resolution. You have to bring it forward at the June regional meeting, so we have a long time
Yeah.
between now and then.
Yep. Agenda item number 8.4, moved by Councillor Gordon Maddox, seconded by Councillor Nancy Penner. Be resolved that Council of the City of Morden approve the appointment of Molly Wheeler as a youth council member, with her term being November 15th, 2019 to August 2020, with a specific end date to be determined once the 2020 meeting dates have been established. Just so everybody's aware, we do have a bylaw for a youth member, and once a year, we send out a request to the school division, the MCI in particular, to supply a list of names of willing individuals. Molly Wheeler put her name forward. There were no other applicants. I have some familiarity with Molly. She won the 2018 Canadian National Student Debate in In 2018, she's also the student body president, or student council president, sorry, at MCI. I believe Mr. Anwarth had some interaction with her as well, correct? I think she's an exceptional candidate. Is anybody else familiar with her?
Yeah.
You know Molly?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any questions or comments?
So will she be officially sworn in at the next council meeting then, or?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay.
So I have her coming out to the Hockey Canada thing already in November. She's going to drop the ceremonial puck and do a few things like that, because U18,
Yeah,
Brennan's right.
perfect.
She's the demographic. Good, all right, in favor, please indicate. Opposed, motion carries. Molly Wheeler will be youth council member for 2019 and 20, I guess. So I guess at the next council meeting, we'll swear her in. All right, agenda item number 8.6. 8.5 comes first.
8.5?
I don't have a resolution for 8.5, I don't think.
No, there's no, there's a recommendation there on 36, page 36 on there for us to leave the parking status
Yeah.
on Stephen as is. So maybe that's why.
Okay,
Do you need a resolution for that? We don't? No, okay, that's why, okay.
okay. Okay, yeah, so there was a request to have
Lines marked.
lines marked for parking stalls on Stephen, which would lead to, according to the report we received, less efficiency, it appears, in parking. The recommendation from the organization was to leave it as is, which I support.
I think the problem with doing that is in the wintertime, if you paint lines on the street, you can't see them.
Right.
So they're good in the summer months, but not in the winter.
Well, and if you park lines, you have to park them for the biggest vehicle, for
Yeah.
the trucks, and then the small cars, you lose space.
Yeah, we do, yeah.
Becomes less efficient.
We're not getting any number of complaints about this, or?
No. Okay, 8.6, moved by Councillor Jim Hunt, seconded by Councillor Gary Hebert. Oh, sorry, do you want?
I just wanted to, you know what, it's out of order, but on 8.5,
Yeah.
can I just, we had spoke quite a number of months ago about painting in yellow, like no parking around at intersection. And the one that comes to mind is the one at the high school, at the corner of 5th Street and Gilmore. I know it's too late to paint it now, but is that something that we can maybe make a note of and see if we can include that in some kind of a, like I think at times people park too close to the intersection
Yeah,
And they're blocking the sidewalk.
and blocking the sidewalk.
that was a committee, I think, in February or March.
Yeah,
Yeah.
can you check on that? Sorry, I know it's out of order, so.
All right, agenda item number 8.6, moved by Councillor Jim Hunt, seconded by Councillor Gary Hebert. Be resolved that Council of the City of Morden approve a donation to Pembina Valley Minor Hockey in the amount of $1,100 to cover ice fees for the 2019-2020 Breakfast Club program. This is a standing item, I believe. I was informed. Okay. Okay, and it's just an in-kind contribution. Okay, any questions or comments?
I think in the past, what's happened is that they were invoiced or billed, and then when they paid their bill, then we paid them a grant and we wrote. That way, the community service still gets the benefit of having the revenue recorded on
Okay,
their department.
And there's a paper trail that way
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
all right, in favor, please indicate. Opposed, none.
Is that
Motion
what that
carries.
resolution reads to do?
No.
It says a donation, right?
But do you need that resolution to?
No,
It's
that's,
not information, this is actually a resolution you're passing.
Just as long as administration, if that's how they want to do it, I should say.
Yeah.
Because that's
Oh.
what's done in the
Yeah.
past, right?
that's usually how we do those types of things.
All right, agenda item number 8.7, moved by Councillor Gary Hebert, seconded by Councillor Jim Hunt. Whereas the province of Manitoba declared a provincial state of emergency on October 13th, 2019, following an unprecedented snowstorm, and whereas there have been substantial unbudgeted costs incurred by the City of Morden in the process of cleaning up and removing debris as a result of the storm, Therefore, be it resolved that Council of the City of Morden officially request disaster financial assistance from the province of Manitoba with respect to the provincial state of emergency declared on October 13th, 2019. So the reason we're under the disaster assistance program, whenever that's announced, we will have to make formal application, and this authorizes the city to do that. Any questions or comments? Now, the program hasn't been announced yet in terms of disaster assistance, but we want to be first at the trough, so we're going to get ahead of it.
There would likely be substantial cost.
Oh, yeah.
Cost to us, I'm sure.
Can I add my tree removal on there too?
I got mine done.
It's on the board.
Yeah.
Well, I was driving down the street, and people are just putting everything out on the front, eh? And like, we have inventories of cedars, according to Nelson Street. I drive down, there's all these cedars heaped on the road.
I have to thank the city
I
for
know.
our pile being picked up, because we were getting the chipper in, but
Yeah.
they beat us to it,
Well,
so.
I'm thinking they were pretty good. If they went down and you already had it out there, they just.
Yeah.
took it to
Yeah.
the chip.
They didn't go into the yards, but they sure
Yeah.
took the
They
curbside.
did an excellent job.
Excellent.
Well, there was a mixture of boulevard trees and backyard trees.
Yeah.
How do you-
Well, they would have gotten in the cleanup anyway.
Yeah.
But I need some wood chips, so now I'm happy because they're running out.
There's lots.
All right, in favor, please indicate. Opposed, none. We will ask the province for some money whenever they tell us we can.
Let us know when you get that, we'll have a celebration.
Yeah.
Will be enough to,
All right, 8.8.
Okay, now I'm embarrassed.
Am I not paying for this on my own?
Meeting before the Legion, or before November 11th, and not only person wearing a top.
I have one.
Well, you got yours. Oh,
Where's
that's
two? Oh, mine fell off. I had one.
yours. Hey?
you gotta get little stickies to keep them on.
Oh,
Get your
yeah.
wife's hearing back.
Oh, you do too?
Yeah, just blends in.
I had one. I don't know where it went.
I know, I've got mine
Oh,
too.
we're almost all
Not on.
50%.
I
Yeah.
won't have it on.
Okay, 8.8. So okay, I'll read the resolution, I'll comment on it. Moved by Councillor Jim Hunt, seconded by Councillor Gary Hebert. Be resolved that the City of Morden authorize Mayor Burley to attend the annual Remembrance Day dinner held by the Royal Canadian Legion Morden Branch number 11 on Sunday, November 10th, 2019.
That's because you got an invitation.
I did. Was I not just doing this on my own? I believe.
Yeah.
I'm just paying for my
You don't need a
own way.
resolution.
They asked you to be their guest. Oh, invite you
Yeah.
and a guest. Yeah, just to
He
attend,
doesn't
I
need a
guess.
resolution.
No.
Right. Wait, how much
So you
are
have to-
tickets?
I don't know,
$50 or less?
likely $10.
Oh, then that.
Well, if you're gonna pass a resolution for this, you need to pass a resolution for November the 11th of laying out the wreath too, so. I don't think you need a.
We've already funded a,
Yeah, I know, you
Yeah.
don't think you need a, I'm talking about the resolution.
oh,
Right.
I don't think you need a resolution.
To make it official?
Eh?
To make it official?
Well.
are
you
we
can't-
paying for your ticket?
Well, you can put it on there, but then I should include that you're gonna lay the wreath on behalf of the city of Morden on November
That's
11th.
true, yeah.
That's all I'm saying. If you're not one, you should need to do the other.
Yeah, okay. We'll vote on 8.8, knowing that I'm happy to pay my own way.
Well, you've got the allowance to do it anyway. Hand in the receipt and you can put it on your expense sheet, so
Yeah.
it's part of the discretionary funding.
Okay, in favor, please indicate. Opposed?
Will you also lay the wreath on the 11th?
Yeah.
Yeah.
11th, yeah, you gotta do that. Yeah, okay, opposed? More hands? No? Okay, it goes forward 2-0. 5 abstentions. That was a weak T vote right there. Okay, let's call it again, so we get more nays. Can I call it again? Okay. Agenda item number 8.8. In favor? Oh. Okay, it goes 6-0 with 1 abstention. Okay, agenda item number 8.9, snow clearing tender report. Moved by Councilor Gary Hebert, seconded by Councilor Jim Hunt. Be resolved that City of Morden award the 2019-2020 snow removal contract as follows. Contract, of course, is on the screen and is available as part of the minutes.
The only thing,
prices that we
Yeah.
submitted?
There is like one note on that, that depending on the snow accumulation, more than one contractor may be needed to complete the job. So we recommend approving the proposed order of contractors based on submitted hourly rates. So it's basically like we are not training each and everyone's hourly rates, but we approve, because it's a preference, like first, the top one is the best rate, and then after that, we created a list of priority one. And if we need more people to clear the snow, so we bring them up as well. We can call them because they're not successful, but they are on our priority list. So whenever we need more people to clear the snow as per the accumulation, so we can add them up. And in the past, we had some situation when we showed all prices and we didn't approve it, then it created problem for other contractors because their prices were like exposed and they were open, but they didn't get the bid, and we canceled that too. So, and also like it's subject to council's approval as well. So if council doesn't approve it, then because we are creating that priority list, then we have to show each and every prices. So if council doesn't approve it, then it will show all prices and give some comparative edge to one or other contractors.
Once it's approved, we should be able to see the standby price and everybody else's prices, should we not?
Yes, once it's approved, yes, you can see those prices.
So that standby payment then, I know it was there in the past, right? So who would be entitled to that standby payment? Just the number one priority?
Yeah, like standby is like for those priorities, like number one priority is the guy who, like the contractor who get the contract and will do snow clearing. So we divided our city into two zones. Zone 1, snow clearing will be done by a contractor, and Zone 2 by the city public works department. So we got only one bid for snow clearing for Zone 1, so we didn't have any competitor for that, and that was Silver Creek. And for skid steers, we had two bids, so we created that priority number 1 and 2. So the number 1 will always be called as like understood because they got the bid, they got the contract, and once we need them, they will be there. But the second one, which is priority number 2, is kind of like a standby, and that if we need more as per the accumulation of snow, so we'll call them, and they will come and then help the city.
So what hourly rate would they get? The one that they had put in a bid for, or the one that was accepted? Like, how does that work?
The hourly rate they put in the bid, and they were the lowest one, so that's why they got that contract.
Okay, but the standby only goes to who was awarded the initial contract. Like, the second and third choice do not get standby.
Yeah, so it's kind of like I made it kind of like a standby, like the other one, kind of like you are on call, kind of. Yeah. So we were like, for simplicity, we can say retainer. So we have a retainer, like whoever will be successful contractor, we retain them, and the rest kind of like a standby or on-call basis. Then. So whenever we need them, we can call them, and that's why we created the priority list. But all the time, retainer will be there. If council would like to see, we can bring the prices in the next meeting.
But I think the question was more, if we don't get any snow, wouldn't that be nice, between now and February 1st, the winning contractor only gets a standby payment, so.
So was that, you said that was an hourly rate, or is that just an like a monthly fixed amount for the standby?
Standby.
looking for that, I can't find it in here. standby you could list though.
It's basically like there's no snow, and then once we got the snow, then we will pay them through that standby first, because we'll finish that first, and then they will get, because it's a retainer kind of. It's not we are paying them, even if they don't have the snow, but like if we get snow after February 1st, we'll pay them from whatever accumulated through the previous months, because they didn't get paid for, because there wasn't snow, and then we'll go like that.
What's the value of the retainer, do you know?
On top of my head, so, but staff, maybe staff is here, so they can provide more information on that.
Sure. All right, any other questions or comments?
No, I asked for the same thing before. We couldn't get to see a copy of that, at least at council level, rather than, I know he didn't want to publish it because there were some issues last year with contractors when we did publish the rates, and they were not pleased with that, so that's why, the reason that they didn't publish it here. So I asked for the same thing. We couldn't see a copy of that, the contractual prices that were submitted, so we could see what the reason for the decision being made as they were.
Because most of the time we provide winning bid prices, and in this case, we have like on call as well, like we created that priority list, so then we have to show all prices.
Okay.
Apart from winning bids.
Could we not see these in camera so that it doesn't get out? So we can have a look at these prices?
There's no reason to see them,
Look into, like,
as long as
if
it's
that
tendered.
would be an in-camera item or not.
As long as it was tendered, it doesn't matter.
Just, just to look at it.
Informational,
See where we're
yeah.
at.
Well, once it's awarded, isn't it public knowledge what the prices were?
But those pricing, once it's approved, we provide those prices to the all bidders. So in this case, that's why we didn't provide it, because we created that on-call priority list. But if council wishes, after sharing it with them, we can bring it to council.
We had a lot of problems last year, especially with one contractor. He didn't want his unit prices to be published. And I distinctly remember that, and it came forward.
And we will definitely look into better process so that we can share appropriate information, not only with council, but also with the bidders.
Well, do we at least know what the standby price is, or do we have to wait for that?
Standby pretty much.
Like
The
if we don't
retainer.
have any snow, like suppose from now to February 1st, so what are the standby prices? Like, do we pay them?
Yeah, it's in a contract.
So how much
4,100 for streets, snow clearing.
per month?
It's one contract, so it's 4,100 per month, and then it will be 1,500 for sidewalks per month.
How much for sidewalks?
15.
15?
For sidewalks.
So that gets paid then regardless of whether there's snow or not.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, other questions or comments? All right, in favor, please indicate. Opposed, none, motion carries. Have a good day. All right, agenda item number 11. 8.10 is for information only. It's a rezoning notice that came to us through MSTW. It's informational, has no impact, I believe, on us, or Martin would be here. Oh, he already told us it has no impact in committee, that's right. Okay. 4,100, yeah. Agenda item number 11, moved by Councillor Doug Frost, seconded by Councillor Jim Hunt. Be resolved that council moves from the regular. Oh, this is the right one. 11. Be resolved that council moves from the regular meeting to in camera. In favor, please indicate. Opposed, we will move in camera. All of these are